versus the world. We may not be right, but we don't know what about. Versus the world. We don't fuck around. If we did, we found out we are drunks. Versus the world. We may not be right, but we don't know what about.
And we are live. With this pre-recorded episode of the Drunks vs. the World podcast. My name is Lucas. I'm here with the two other co-hosts, my subordinates, my direct reports.
Oh my god.
What was your name again, sir?
Sir, your name?
Who the fuck is calling me? Oh, me. I'm not used to be called sir. I am Jason, and I am apparently one of the subordinates, co-hosts.
Yeah. Well, I'm Justin. I'm subordinate number 1.
Oh, no. That all that means is you got your nose further up his ass than I do.
In legal documents, you're referred to as subordinate number 1.
Yeah.
You're like Woodstock to Snoopy over there, so
Yeah, I'll take it. Take what I can get.
you're Boo Boo to fucking Yogi.
Yep. Hey, boo-boo.
How about a picnic a basket?
I don't know why. You're Velma to fucking Fred over there.
Hey, that does sound like Fred. Yogi and might be the same voice.
God, I can't even remember Fred talking.
Hey, Fred.
Fred. Hey,
Fred.
he just sounded like a regular white guy.
He was shorter than his wife. Like, much shorter.
He wasn't married to anybody.
Yeah, he was. Fred from the... Oh.
I'm talking about Fred
you're
from
thinking
Scooby-Doo.
Fred Flintstones.
Oh, I'm talking about Fred fucking from
That's Barney.
Scooby-Doo.
Barney was the short one.
Yeah. Okay.
What the
My bad.
fuck are you doing? Totally wrong cartoon. Yeah.
Barney from the Flintstones sounds like Yogi Bear.
I never noticed that until you
Wasn't it-
mentioned that.
I think in the live action movies, I think Yogi was actually voiced by fucking Justin Timberlake.
Oh, really?
I think so. That's what
I didn't know that.
That Flintstones movie was... It should have been better.
The first one was good. The second one, that Viva Rock
Vegas.
Yeah.
Isn't John Goodman?
Yeah, John Goodman.
and Rick
Rick Moranis. That was a good...
Oh, yeah. That's...
I think Rosie O'Donnell was Barney's wife.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes no sense.
Yeah.
I mean...
Betty.
Betty was a bombshell in
Yeah.
a cartoon, okay?
Yeah,
Not
she
some
was.
fucking
Rosie used to be
sea cow.
kind of okay.
And then there was Wilma, the
Who
ginger.
played her?
I can't remember who played Wilma. The ginger.
Every time I think of the Flintstones, I'm reminded of a line from the British comedy Red Dwarf, which is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It's these guys basically lost in deep space, and it's only like 4 of them. So there's no women, and they're watching old Flintstones cartoons.
There was a lot of butt sex going on in that fucking shit.
But they were asking each other, like, would you rather go with Wilma or Betty? And the one guy was like, I'd go with Wilma, but I'd be thinking of Betty. So every time I think of... I don't remember if it could have been the other order, too, but it's not important. But I always think of that.
Huh. It was Elizabeth Perkins that played Wilma. She was in Weeds. You guys ever seen Weeds?
Oh, I was thinking of somebody else.
Yep, I've seen Weeds. It's a good show.
She's an underrated actress.
Yeah, it's just like, when Who Framed Roger Rabbit came out, everybody's like, dude, I would totally bang Jessica Rabbit.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And you know that movie was meant for adults because her tits just flew all over the place in that fucking movie.
Might be the hottest animated
I don't know.
character ever.
I don't know. Fucking Bugs Bunny's old lady.
Lola
Bunny was kind of hot.
she was a babe.
And she was an athlete. Let's go.
Yeah.
But Jessica Rabbit was more of like, she's like one of those chicks that you would see in a speakeasy with all the lights down. She's singing, Happy Birthday, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie, even to this day, is still some of the best like melding of cartoon and live action. I watched a video on it a couple of years back of a guy he was an animator or does animation, but he was going over the movie and talking about all the things that they did to make like the little details that they put in with they would always have the lighting just right. The shadows on the characters' faces was just right for the environment. Like
a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like when they used to do South Park, they had to handwrite everything scene by scene by scene by scene. It was just.
Well, the same with pretty much any animated. I mean, look at The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, back in the day.
And then Family Guy now. I mean, the original Family Guy, you could see the difference between then and season 5.
Mm-hmm.
Huge fucking difference. And then the difference between 5 and 10 and then 10 to now.
Yeah.
You know, there's just so much. So, out of all the female cartoon characters, who would you bang? Who would you want to bang the worst? The most, I should say.
Smurfette.
Lois Griffin.
Ooh. You know what? I think I'd have to go with Marge.
Ugh.
I think Marge could do stuff. And look at all that hair you can pull.
I'm going with Lana Kane from Archer.
I gotta see who that is.
After you break that up, I was thinking about what the secretary.
Oh yeah,
Cheryl.
Cheryl, Carol. Like her name changes all the time.
And when she was
depending on the season.
When she was the singer, she was Charlene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but when
Lana Kane is the one that's always in the on again, off again with Archer.
Yeah.
Okay.
The black chick.
I'm gonna go with fucking
Mallory Archer.
God damn it, no.
The big chick that ended up getting skinny from the cocaine.
Honestly, Pam is probably she's probably my favorite character on that show.
Really?
She is hilarious. Other than Archer, I mean, he's the best. But.
The one thing about what were you gonna say?
I'm not gonna say what I wanted.
No,
to
go
say.
say
No,
it.
what?
Hey, that's what this is.
Oh
here.
God!
We're
I can't. No.
You're gonna say Pebbles, weren't you?
I was like, how old's the Little Mermaid?
Ariel? I mean, she must
All
be.
you have to do is dangle your worm out there.
She must be of age. She went to land and was like gonna marry a prince, or did marry a prince. I don't know.
She's hot.
Yeah.
Except she's, part fish.
Only when she's in the water.
And the best
I don't know,
part
I've
is,
never
Is that how that works?
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
yeah, she got her legs, but in order to get those, the witch took her voice,
Oh, okay.
and so she couldn't talk when she was on land.
Good.
Exactly.
And talk back.
Exactly.
Perfect.
We're just deaf
So fucking-
mute. That's all we need. That has some sort of, oral fetish. I don't care.
She's a babe.
Yeah. Yeah, then what's that one
Mulan.
from... You just like the submissive ones, don't you? Not gonna talk back, gonna make you...
right.
Yeah, I get you fooled.
Oh, yeah.
How about Lilo
Oh, God.
from Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah, the 12-year-old little girl.
Too far.
Right, that's why I said Pebbles.
Actually, I meant Stitch, but
You probably
I'd
meant...
beg
I'd
Stitch.
fuck Stitch.
You meant Bam Bam.
What about that chick from Scooby-Doo? Both of them, those chicks.
Daphne and Velma?
Yeah.
Velma for sure.
Have you seen some of the chicks that cosplay Velma?
Oh,
they're
my
pretty good.
God.
I mean, Daphne's hotter.
Yeah.
Let's not kid ourselves here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love the nerdy look,
I know.
though. Like that.
So do I.
They did a good job with that. What's her name? Linda Candellini.
In the live action.
Yeah, she was a. And she
Was she the one from Freaks and Geeks? I might be.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Yep.
But she was also.
Like in Grandma's Boy? That chick?
No, that's a different one.
Oh.
That's a different chick you're thinking of. But there's another one. Well, maybe it is from Grandma's Boy. But she was also in Avengers. She was Hawkeye's wife. Linda
Oh.
Candellini was.
Huh. Fuck Hawkeye.
Yeah.
It's the lamest superhero.
He sucks.
Yeah, well,
Even that actor.
Hey, you guys got to give him some fucking
I
credit.
like Jeremy Renner, but
He got ran over by a snowblower or something.
His own
His
snowblower.
own-
Yeah.
snow plow, full on snow plow.
How did that happen?
It slipped out of gear or something. He had stopped to help someone on the side of the road, and it slipped out of gear and ran over him. And he was only out there. There's a massive blizzard, and so he was just like, "I'm gonna go help and clear neighbors' snow and stuff." He was just being a nice guy, and look where it got him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to give Hawkeye some credit though. I mean, the motherfucker, him and fucking Black fucking Widow are the only two without superpowers, and they're hanging with those guys.
Which is why those two never made sense with the Avengers.
Hey, that's why there's always a chance. Look, Batman didn't have superpowers.
It's a little different.
No.
Because there's nobody in the Batman universe that does have superpowers, right?
Superman.
Yeah, there is.
Just the
Superman.
like in the Batman movies, there's no...
Batman versus Superman. The movie.
That doesn't count.
Dawn of Justice.
Joker, Riddler, Mr. Freeze. Those
Mr.
guys,
Freeze,
none
kinda.
of those villains have superpowers.
Man-Bat did.
And then
Venom.
Scarecrow.
Or not Venom.
Scarecrow released some kind of toxin or something.
Neurotoxin and not Venom. What's Bane? Bane had that supposedly fucking. They called it like it was their version of a super soldier serum, but he had to have it constantly going through him.
That's what the mask is for?
No, well, in the comics, yes. And then there was, like you said, Superman. They're DC, dude.
I get it. I'm just saying, like, the villains and, like, the primary Batman. Even Bane, it wasn't natural. He was just getting fucking beefed up with that.
None of the superheroes were natural.
It's also going to depend, too, on
Look at the Hulk.
which, like, specific timeline of... Or not timeline. Well,
The speed of the Flash.
Flash.
Yeah.
Way better than Superman. Way stronger.
He is
He
way
is.
stronger.
Way
No.
stronger.
Jesus Christ, we're going down this fucking road again, aren't we?
Definitely not stronger.
No.
Not physically stronger. More powerful, though.
No, he's not.
He is.
God.
He is the Speed
He's not.
Force. At least one version of him. Again,
The Wally West one is.
yeah. Again, it all depends on which version, which universe you're in at the time. Like, because there's all kinds of alternate realities in DC and Marvel.
The Flashpoint Paradox. Do you ever watch the CW, The Flash?
I saw a couple episodes of it.
It's not bad. I don't mind it. I actually liked it.
The thing that
Is it like a
bothered me,
PG? Like,
It's just
kids?
think like Smallville, kind of
yeah.
feel to it.
Smallville shows you, what Superman was like in high school and college and shit like that. The Flash on CW actually shows you how the Barry Allen version of the Flash got his speed force and what he did to get better, and then they showed him against a lot of his evil doers, his arch enemies kind of thing. It was, I like it.
There was something in one of maybe it was even the first episode that I don't remember what it was now. I just remember it had something to do with the villain having some kind of a poison gas or something. But the only thing I remember is after the scene, I was just like, holy shit, that was so lame. I'm not sure I can watch this. I don't know if it was the first episode or maybe it was just one that I saw on TV. And I was just like, ugh.
Turned off by it.
Yeah, like it was just one moment where, because I was kind of into the show, like, okay, this isn't bad. And then after that moment, I was just like, oh my God, that was so bad.
There was definitely some episodes of the show I was just like, fuck this. But I watched them I binged them on Netflix.
Yeah.
And they're not bad. I really liked it. They got that Supergirl on there too, which is a CW also, which I really couldn't get into that one. Arrow wasn't bad. And Heroes of Tomorrow, I think is what it's called, which is like DC's version of the Avengers B, the B Avengers. The guys that weren't quite the best,
You guys remember that TV show, Heroes? It was originally
Yes.
on NBC.
First season was amazing.
Yeah.
The first 2 or 3 were great. The fucking last 2 were garbage.
Yeah, because that show was killed by the writer's strike.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when they came back, it was like, it must have been a whole new set of writers, and they didn't know where the show was supposed to go, and oh my God,
Yep.
it just got dumb.
Yep.
Yeah.
I loved Lost, too.
I did, too.
And the writers fucked that one up.
Again, now they have
First season. It was unbelievable.
and that had what's her name in it too.
Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah, she was in the fucking
She's Wasp, right? Wasp and Ant-Man.
yeah. So she made it in the fucking Marvel universe and in Lord of the Rings. Well, she was in the The prequels.
Yes, in the Hobbit.
Yeah, she
the
was one
Hobbit
of the.
trilogy.
She was an elf.
Yep.
Yeah.
So she's done some shit. You know, I mean, that woman's gonna have. Look at her fucking resume. She's got some shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I like her. She's a great actor.
See, I actually don't really have a problem with the way that Lost went.
I did. I fucking
It
hate
was
it.
ending,
horrible.
I
The
didn't
ending was
mind.
horrible. I didn't even get the ending.
I think it was
was a
just
Even
Oh,
everything
there-
building up to that point was just so stupid. They get off the island, go back on the island, back and forth.
that
It was
last
just-
part was like weird, like where they're we have to go back. We
Yeah.
have like that. I thought was weird, but the ending I thought I found it kind of satisfying in that they all.
I hated it.
I wish. What I didn't like was when they found that vault. That
That's
was
kind of where it went downhill.
fuck yeah, it did. And
But at
then,
the time,
and then
it
they
was
made that
cool.
older. They made that older guy the fucking bad guy towards the end. And,
Lock.
yeah, I fucking hated him.
Yeah. And then there was like a clone of him and shit.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
I'm watching right
See,
now.
I
I've
don't
been
remember that.
binging it on Netflix.
Yeah, he was like a bad guy. He was a villain.
I remember him. Yeah, I remember that, but the clone part I don't remember.
I don't
but
remember.
I've only
Thought it
seen
was-
it once, and
Same.
You ever seen watched the 100?
yes,
Heard it was good.
It's on Netflix right now. I've been binging it. It is actually pretty good.
I need to go and see if there's more after where I last saw it.
There's 7 seasons.
Okay, so there definitely is. I think I've watched the first 4, and there was something in like the 4th season that I was just like, oh my god, they jumped the shark. This is
Yeah.
I think my other problem with it, which again, first few seasons I loved that show, but there's one of the main characters, actually 2 or 3 of the main characters. It is constantly going back and forth with this person's good, now they're a villain, and this person's good. Wait, now this guy's a villain, and this person's good again, and
Yep.
this person is now a villain, and
Yeah.
it just
Gets silly.
yeah.
That's the thing about fucking TV shows nowadays. Sometimes the shit is just so hard to follow, and there's really no originality anymore. There's so many things that are getting rebooted and reboot. Like they're doing a second reboot of Battlestar Galactica.
Really.
Yeah, they're doing another one. I'm like, there was nothing wrong with that last the original reboot or the first reboot, whatever you want to call it, with
Edward James Olmos.
Yeah, I loved it. Thought it was great because I remember watching the original on the movies. I remember watching the original series. Loved it. But this new one, or this one that just came out, with Edward Jane Olmos and what's her nuts, Katie Sackhoff, because she was Starbuck. I thought it was great. I loved it. The Cylons, what they did with the different Cylons and the whole thing, and then you couldn't tell who was a Cylon and who wasn't.
Yeah. I only saw, I think, the first season of that show, maybe.
Yeah.
There was only, I think, maybe 3, but then they had a couple little mini movies and shit like that. Like there was one called Battlestar Galactica Razors something, and I think that was the name of the ship they were on. So it was all based on the crew from that ship. And
So they got House of Dragon coming out this month and The Boys.
Yeah,
this
it comes out this Sunday. House of the Dragon.
yeah. And The Boys first 3 we just looked.
And
out.
House of the Dragon is also renewed for a 3rd season.
Yeah.
So.
I heard this new season of the House of Dragon is supposed to be like extremely fucked up, like horror movie fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know everything that happens, but because I do have the book that this series is based on, so
What a
I know
nerd.
some of it. And yeah,
Should be good.
this whole era of like the Game of Thrones universe is
Hardcore
fucked.
shit.
Yeah.
And we got fucking Dewey from The Boys.
Dewey from the guy.
I'm Dewey.
We were just talking about The
Yeah.
Boys. He goes, I love the show, but fuck, I hate Dewey.
Huey.
I never,
Huey, yeah.
Whatever.
I like
Even
Huey.
worse.
Everybody likes Huey.
But see, that's the thing. Like I
just a
told him,
regular
like,
guy hanging out with the boys. you know?
that's what I was saying. Is that he's just like an everyday dude. Some guy like one of us gets
Just gets-
entangled in this world of superheroes and fucking their enemies,
Yeah.
And then but there's no way on God's green earth that Huey in real life could fucking hit that.
Maybe that's why I'm just jealous.
Starlight. Yeah, you want to hit Starlight. I mean, who does?
Everyone wants
Yeah.
to hit Starlight.
I want to hit Maeve. Ooh,
Oh yeah.
Maeve.
She's a lesbian.
Yeah, she was she was a lesbian.
Yeah.
She was a homeless sectional. I loved her. Tall, redheaded bitch.
Shout out to Homelander too.
For tagging
Oh
that
God,
person. So what's this?
It's a great character.
Here's one thing I don't know.
I'd let him shoot a load right through the back of my skull.
That's exactly how it happened, though. But one thing I never understood: what's his thing with milk, especially titty milk?
I think
Just
it's
his
because
fetish thing.
and I think it's because he basically is a lab experiment and kind of didn't have that mother figure, like a real mother growing up, and so it's fucked with his head. And
Because then, I mean, granted, you get to see what's her name's tits a couple times, but you only got to see him once when she was younger. Now you get to see him when she's in her 50s, 60s. You're like,
works for me.
Works for me.
Weird.
I ain't
Weird.
complaining.
I want to see Starlight and fucking Maeve's tits. Don't get to see those, but we get to see what's her name's boobs.
Yeah.
I mean, let's admit it, we're guys. We want to see everybody's tits.
Yeah.
Used to be a big deal, tits in movies.
Yeah, now it's
Nobody
just
cares
like,
anymore.
Now, I mean, now everybody's weird out when I show my dick, and then, but they're like, hey, that's out of line.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
It's
This woman shows her
2024.
tits. Yeah. Live in the now, fuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
Like when what's her face crossed her legs in that movie. Was that Sharon Stone?
Sharon Stone.
Basic
in,
Instinct.
Yes, Basic Instinct.
Yeah, yeah.
When they did the
Pause. Oh shit!
Oh my god, that looks like a bad grilled cheese sandwich.
when Family Guy spoofed it and they did it with Peter, like, and it blurred, like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it was so unexpected for me. I could not breathe. I was laughing so hard.
You know, Peter ends up with a lot of homosexual / bestiality fucking problems in that movie, in that show.
Yeah.
I mean, like that time with that bull.
Mm-hmm.
He just that just fuck. I'm like, really? He just got ass fucked by that bull, or when he got shrunk extremely small, and he got raped by a bug. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, every time you turn around, fucking Peter's getting raped by something.
It's just like Randy Marsh in South Park. That's their storyline. Randy started COVID by banging a pangolin in China.
Jesus
Caused
Christ.
COVID.
You know, and how much hate mail both these fucking shows get, but yet they're still on TV. And that's the thing, it's their shock value.
Mm-hmm. No amount of hate mail is gonna make a difference if it still
Makes
gets
money.
watched.
That's
if
Comedy
if the
Central's
ratings are
biggest show.
still up, like unless you cross a very like far line.
Yeah.
But even then, if you did that, then obviously
Yeah.
people are going to stop watching and
Yeah.
the ratings will suffer. But
I seen this thing earlier this week where Kevin Spacey's all butthurt because now he's got to sell his house, and I'm pretty sure it's one of his houses in order to pay his legal fees.
He's doing like a podcast run now with all these
Well, see,
podcasters.
okay, so here's my problem with these fucking celebrities and their podcasting. Don't they have enough of the media's fucking
right,
attention? They have to fucking go and do something like that anybody on the planet can do. But since they're a fucking celebrity, they're gonna get paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they're gonna get more fucking listeners. But cut us some slack. Give us a fucking,
cut some slack, Jack.
you know, give us a fucking chance. These guys, fucking Skank Kardashian has a podcast, and everybody's gonna listen to her because of who she is. All these wrestlers have a ton of podcasts. You can't fucking throw a rock without hitting a celebrity with a podcast.
No, if you don't like it, then don't listen to it.
I don't. That's the thing. They got enough. Like I said, they got enough to fucking pie. Share some. Let us get some fucking attention here. Listen to us. How about that?
Yeah,
I'm a celebrity, and I'm on this podcast.
What are you famous for?
No, just
Saying no to
just
a certain.
dig deep into the internet, and you'll see.
No, if I have to dig deep in the internet, chances are I don't want to see.
Yeah,
It's kind of gross. Thanks for bringing that up.
you're welcome.
Gross. How was your guys' week? We haven't gotten that far.
Not as bad as the previous two, but still shitty.
Hey,
you know.
took a day off, or did
I did take a day off this
oh,
afternoon. I kind of did.
That's right. He he was close enough to the office where he could take
Yep.
time. His home office. Mm-hmm. It's your fucking basement, dude.
Which serves as a home office sometimes.
I do that sometimes where I just...
Yeah, but he doesn't call it. You don't call it your office. You said I just work from home.
Yeah, because I don't really have a dedicated office. It's where my computer is, so...
If you did, though, would you call it a home office?
I would, if I did have
see.
it.
Well,
you
he
would
has a-
too.
Well, then you're both dumb.
You would too.
I have a fucking
You call this a studio, but it's a garage.
Studio
Fair
204. Studio 204. I also call it, hey, we're going to go record in the garage. We only say studio for the people on air, the 2 people that listen to us.
Except you always call it the garage, which is weird.
That is weird.
I'm
Listen, if you don't like the way how I dress in here, don't show up.
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
There's something wrong with it.
There might be a little bit gay tendency. I don't know. We'll leave it alone.
You guys want to hear an embarrassing story
Yes.
that happened this week? So, when's your birthday?
doesn't? Mine?
July what?
23rd.
July
Same day as
23rd.
the concert, the Collective Soul concert.
Yeah.
So this was July 25th, 2021. This was on a Wednesday, so it had to be a trivia night.
Okay.
This chick named Alexis. I don't remember talking to her. Do you?
Is that one of Leo's friends? I think that might be one of
Might
Leo's
be.
friends.
I guess we had arranged to go on a doggy date back then, and I never
Oh,
called her
yeah.
back, or she never called me. And then this week she said, waiting on you guys, which I thought meant, like, is she fucking trying to still do this date? I'm like, no, there's no way. But I said, fuck it, I'll take the bait. I'm like, yeah, almost 2 years too late, but if you still want to go. And she's like, wait, I'm confused. I think I texted the wrong Justin. And I'm just like, LOL, yeah, probably. And that was it.
Who is that? Was that one
I
of
don't
Leo's
remember.
girlfriend's friends?
I think
It
so.
might have been.
That's
I've
what I
never
think.
thought of that.
Huh.
I wonder if it was from the night that we had all gone to the strip club, because it was us, like the old trivia group, and then Leo's friend or Leo's girlfriend's friends. Like
I remember that night because me and Kelly went home early because you guys all decided to go and nobody went to work the next day except for
yeah,
Kelly.
probably.
That was us and who else? Leo's friends?
Yeah, so the you know that he had the friend who was a lesbian.
Yeah.
So it was those two, and then a couple of their friends.
Yeah, we were all sitting at a table, not even at the bar.
I think it was because that.
That sounds.
I know
weird.
that you were talking to one of them, and Brian was talking to the other one.
Were we sitting on that table? Like,
We're-
on the.
we were by the jukebox.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause-
I can't picture this chick's face.
I don't remember. Yeah, I can't picture her either. I just know she was hot.
yeah, yep.
Why didn't I text her back the next
And you know who it was? I think it was Leo, that chick that always showed up with Leo's girlfriend, the shorter one. The shorter, you know, I
just don't remember.
I almost
I don't
know
either.
who it is. I can picture in my head. But yeah, nobody went to work that day.
It's possible.
Kelly didn't go to work. I didn't go.
It's 2 years ago.
Yeah. 2021, that'd have been 3 years ago, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Math is hard. You should even be more embarrassed.
I know.
Your math skills. And aren't you an adjuster? Don't you just deal with numbers?
Yeah. Well, they got like phones and calculators that do a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Huh.
nice.
Well, like you said, at least it was a decent week for you then.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you there, Bearded Thunder?
Mine was great. We won trivia.
That's it.
That's it. That's literally it.
Well, and you guys got to see the Mavs lose 3 in a row.
Yep. Which is great.
Yeah.
And I have speaking of that, because Game 4 is tonight, but I have a conspiracy theory.
Oh.
Going into this finals, ESPN analysts, like 7 out of 8 of them, picked the Mavericks to beat the Celtics.
In 4?
No, not in 4, but just to win the whole thing.
Well, that's why. I guess what I meant is that they're going to go on a 4-game run.
Well, this was before the series started.
Oh,
So
okay.
before the series started, like 7 of the 8 analysts had picked the Mavericks. I think it was done because of the close relationship between ESPN and DraftKings and all these other sports gambling.
Could be.
I think they wanted to increase bets on the Mavericks, knowing they're sports analysts, okay? They shouldn't.
You think they were pushed to pick the Mavs?
Yes. I think there's, if not an agreement in place, an understanding. Because it brings more money in for DraftKings and whatnot, and the various betting sites.
I told Justin, probably about 10, 15 minutes before you showed up, that we were talking about that, and I said, what do you think, maybe TNT decided to have a chat with the refs and say, we need this to go 7 games, and let the Mavs win the next 3 and have the, for the fucking money, the advertising fucking money.
Yeah.
But how much are they going to lose out in if it doesn't go 7 games?
It hasn't been a good finals.
No. The only good game was last game.
And that was just because the Mavericks made that run to...
Yeah, what was it, 10 points in 2 minutes, a 10-0 fucking run?
They went on like a 20-2 run,
Yeah.
and then they called a timeout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that theory, though.
I don't know how...
Those analysts' reputations are on the line, and you have to get so many people involved to do something like that. But
nobody respects the analysts as it is, because
they don't.
It's all just shock jock radio, essentially.
Yeah.
But I don't know. To me, is like, as a lay person that only follows basketball, kind of
Did you say lay or lame?
lay person.
Lame, whatever.
It's to me, it's just so obvious that the Celtics are a way more dominant team than the Mavericks.
Much deeper.
So much deeper. Like, everyone can score in some capacity on the Celtics.
Yep.
And they had the best record in the league. They beat every team except Denver during the regular season.
What pisses me off is how poorly the T-Wolves game plan was against the Mavs.
They never adjusted. When the Mavs knew how to exploit the defensive scheme that the Timberwolves used, and they never adjusted.
Never did it.
And they sat McDaniels in the corner on offense.
Yep. They didn't attack Luka on defense.
Yep. This is exactly what we were saying in that series. Attack, you have to go at Luka. What are the Celtics doing?
On defense.
They're going at Luka.
Yep.
And I just saw... because after that last game, everybody was shitting on Luka. Yeah. Rightfully so, because he's a big fucking whiner.
Mm-hmm.
Foul baiter. It's terrible. But they were clowning his defensive ability, and somebody showed a screenshot, and it was the worst or the highest percentage of blow-bys for a defender. So if you're the defender and the guy drives and just gets by you immediately. The highest percentage of blow-bys in playoff history, the 3 highest, are all Luka Doncic all this season.
Holy shit.
All this playoffs.
Well, you see,
I believe it.
This is his first foul out in playoffs history.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 22 playoff runs, or out of 22 playoff games, this is the first time where he fouled out.
Yep.
And he's like, what? Look. And you obviously seen him. He fucking threw his leg out there and held it there.
It was so clear.
All the fouls he had seemed warranted.
And he should have gotten at least one flopping technical. There was a 3-pointer that he took where I think it was Jaylen Brown he jumped to defend it, didn't land anywhere near him. He was like 2 feet away when he landed, and Luka literally just jumped in the air and flopped onto his back.
Yep.
And it's like, and then of course he looked at the refs like, why didn't you call a foul?
Yeah. Right. And that's why I don't really buy your conspiracy theory too much, because had that been true, they wouldn't have called that foul on Luka. They would have let him play the rest of the game to try and make it more competitive.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a lot of to say about, because I don't know a ton about basketball. I like watching it. I really do. I don't have an opportunity unless I'm down here.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's too hot or too cold to be down here. White doesn't like it. So for me, the only time I get to really, say, hey, I'm going to go watch basketball is during the playoffs. Or if I'm at trivia with you guys,
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, Jerry West.
Yeah.
The logo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, we'll never know. I guess there's a good possibility that it could go 2 more games at least.
Mavericks are at home this game.
They were last
They were
game too.
Yeah.
I mean, that helps a little bit. Kyrie's been fucking garbage.
Oh,
Yeah.
fucking 0 for, what was he, 0 for 13 for threes so far this fucking series? He hasn't dropped a single 3.
Is that true? I thought
I
he
thought
had.
that's what he said. I thought that's what I seen.
I
the
thought-
other
I have to
day.
look, I'm not sure.
I thought him and Luka were the only 2 Mavericks players to have made more than 1 3 in this series.
Luka's fucking, you know, his game isn't what it should be, but he's still fucking draining. He's still getting over 20 points a game.
Offensively, he's a monster.
Yeah.
Like he's
he can fucking
That-
shoot.
yeah, he can make it from anywhere.
Your T-Wolves, and see, this is where your guys a D on the first half of every game against the Mavs. You guys are killing them defensively, killing them, and then the adjustments were made on the offensive side of the ball for the Mavericks, and you would have thought that your Wolves would have been like, okay, what? You guys were pressing that defense, and then when the second quarter came, okay, ease it back. Why? It was working.
Yeah.
It was fucking working. You guys were fucking there. You had the shit. You guys should have been in the finals. There's some fucking extremely lame fucking calls that were called against you guys. Like that, what was that one that we see?
The out of bounds
That out of
call in
bounds
game
thing was
2,
fucking stupid.
it cost
Oh,
them the
God,
game.
that's-
Which I mean,
They
at that
did
point,
get robbed that game.
yeah, and that's very well could be a momentum shifter. I mean,
It
like
was,
if
yeah.
they win that game, they're back. You know, they
Absolutely.
they're going
Right.
to feel good. But you go down 0-2, losing both at home. That's soul crushing.
Yep.
Right. So what about this? Now you see that the NFL handed down their
What a yeah.
fucking bullshit that they did about the thing with Kirk Cousins.
Oh,
The
fifth round
A
tampering?
pick.
5th round pick.
$250,000 to the Falcons fine, and then $50,000 to the GM or to the
Yeah.
coach?
Yeah, it was
It-
pretty clear they tampered too.
Yep.
And I think a team, I forget what, they got in trouble for the same shit, and their penalty was much more severe than this one was.
They should have lost a 2nd round pick at
Yeah.
worst, because
They'll
that's
take that second round and give it to the team that got tampered against.
yeah.
Should've
You
been
guys
Vikings,
could
yeah.
have. So that 5th round fucking that they took away from the Falcons, give it to the Vikings.
It's
Because-
just like a 5th round pick is
It's a slap on the wrist.
yeah. That's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
They could have gave Cousins, say, 2 more years just to help J.J. McCarthy.
Thing is, every team seems to tamper one
They
way, or
do.
but they got caught.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're the only ones
And if
that
you
got
want to make an example out of them, you should have penalized, and you want to make it stop.
Well,
you did.
Yep.
You ever notice that some of the shit? So I mean, obviously, look what happened with the Patriots back during Deflategate, Spygate. Now you have what's going on with the Falcons. Look what happened with the Raiders. They only fucking look at certain teams that, you know. I mean, you're gonna sit there and tell me that certain shit didn't happen with, say, Dallas. That Dallas hasn't tampered when it comes to, because it seems rather convenient to me that there's some fucking players that have signed with another team. The day free agency opens up, and you're like,
Yeah.
how is that? How did you have
just
time to
didn't
fucking
get caught.
Yeah,
yeah.
and then look what the fucking Jaguars signed. Fucking
I know.
$275 million for 5 years.
We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
When your quarterback gets up for a contract, you don't have to pay him the top market value.
Yeah.
But I guess somebody else would, so you almost
Yes,
kind of have
but
to.
okay, so now Patrick Mahomes is literally the 10th highest paid, and he was the one with the $500
Yeah.
million for 10 years. But right now he's the 10th highest paid, and now you still have fucking Dak, who's going to be asking for stupid money. God knows why. Lucas,
Yeah.
you could outthrow fucking Dak.
Well, I wouldn't go that.
I don't know about that.
And then there's one other quarterback that's coming up for an extension.
Like Tua,
Oh yeah, Tua.
which that's the money he's going to be asking for.
Yep.
Do you
exactly.
pay him that much? I don't know.
I don't know.
Somebody else will though if they
And
don't.
that's a team that needs a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
We got. I'm not talking about Raiders, but when you sit there as a fucking as an NFL fan, and you see Trevor Lawrence went to the playoffs once, and you know what? He's like next to fucking Jared Goff. He's like the only first fucking overall pick that's actually kind of in the last few years. It's actually played to his potential, and especially on a team that was garbage. He goes to the Jags. And in 3 years, 3 years, he's made it to the playoffs. Good. Does he need $275 million for 5 years? Fuck no.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the market value.
But that's what I fucking hate about this game. A starting quarterback. I don't give a... You got how many starting quarterbacks out there that you honestly believe are worth that type of money? Mm-hmm. Just because the market asks for it, that doesn't mean you should give it to them. Mm-hmm. All that does is cripple your fucking team to be able to take care of other sides of the ball or, you know, other positions that could be... Okay, so what is 270? That comes out what, $55 million a year? Okay, after $55 fucking million a year, out of that money, how much of that could have went, say, towards their offensive line or their defense or a receiver or any, you know?
Yeah, it blows my mind that all these athletes are like, well, I want to win a championship, and yet they always want the most money. They want the maximum contract, like especially basketball and quarterbacks. But how is it that there aren't guys out there that are like,
you just take $5 million less a year to
what's 50
help spread the wealth?
What's the max contract? $50 million a year or something in the NBA? Like, why don't I take $40 million and then we've got money? And then if Edwards only wants to take $40 million, then we've got $20 million now that to improve the team.
Look at that bullshit that me and you talked about. This Draymond Green said the NBA is not made for us to be millionaires.
Yeah, he said the NBA is not.
Draymond Green did.
He said it's not set up for us to be wealthy when we're retired.
He's a fucking idiot.
Like, and didn't he just sign like 2 years ago? Signed a big fucking contract with Golden State.
Yeah, and he's made $180 million in the NBA so far. What do you mean it's not set up for you to be wealthy? Plus, you have another $100 million under contract right now. $100
million is generational wealth.
Oh yeah.
50 million is generational wealth.
1 year of a max contract is enough for generations of your family to live off of.
So if they gave if I would say just randomly I was given $25 million, right? Already taxes already been paid on everything, and literally they hand me a check for $25 million, said this is yours to live on till the day you die. Fucking A. And there would be money left over for my 3 kids. You know, there'd be money left over to buy you guys a beer. You know,
I'd buy 8.3 million Powerball tickets.
See, and you probably lose.
Gotta spend money to make more money.
Did you ever hear? There's this lady. I can't remember where she was from. She was a lady of race. Let's put it that way. I'm not gonna. She was not white, and she took all of her fucking welfare check and bought all Powerball tickets. And every one of them lost, right? She didn't win the millions. And so what she turned around and did is she started a GoFundMe because she needed money. And every person, when they heard this, or they said she got nasty grams.
Yeah, she should.
You know. But, I mean, $25 million. Could you live on... You're not even 40 yet. $25 million. Could you live for the rest of your life? Especially living in Fargo, fucking North Dakota.
Could live off $2 million.
I could live off $1 million. $1 million.
Well, I couldn't live off $1 million.
You couldn't live off $1 million.
Not for the rest of my life.
You could.
I'm probably
make it work.
I mean, I guess I could if I. So let's say I have 25 years left on my life. That would make me like roughly 76 years old when I died. Mm-hmm. Okay, off $1 million, that would mean it's. Let's see. Well, what's that break down to?
If you just bought a house, a reasonable priced house and a car, and just lived honestly, you could.
I mean, you definitely, yes. It's roughly like $50,000 a year, I think. Let's just off the top of my head, I'm not even really thinking out. It might be around $50,000. No, maybe more than that. Anyway, you sit there and think about it. Okay, it could be done. Mm-hmm. But when you sit, I mean, have you ever watched that seen that My Lottery Dream House? Mm-hmm. Most of these people won $1 million in the lottery. $1 million, they get to go buy their dream house. And I was sitting there, at first I was like, oh fuck, we're gonna see some kick-ass houses. Nope, my dream house is a fucking $110,000 shanty in bumfucked Egypt. And I'm like, okay, I guess their dreams are a little bit lower than what I would do, you know. But
if you lived in like California, that'd be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to go very far. a little shack is going to run you $1 million.
A majority of the places, majority of the states.
Yeah.
But I got a buddy of mine that moved to Alabama. He lived here in town, and he had a twin home that was paid off, and I think he sold it for $180, just quite a few years ago. And then he moved to Alabama, and he took that money and he put it towards this house. And the price for it, after he moved and did whatever he had to do, he put like $100,000 out on this house, and this house was only like 190. No, it was 220,000. That same fucking house here in Fargo would be over 400,000.
Oh yeah.
I was looking at it, I was like, that's a beautiful fucking house. Moving to Alabama, boys. I'm gonna grab my fucking $13 and go buy me a fucking shithole trailer house. And
great.
There's a lot of
nice.
rich people in North Dakota. Like it's
That oil boom.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Overnight millionaires.
But even in Fargo too, there's some wealthy people in the area.
There is,
A lot of farmers and
depending on the type of farm. You got around here, it's more sugar beets,
And soybeans.
Yep.
soybeans, yeah,
adjusting.
heroin,
IT
adjusting.
guys,
IT guy.
podcasters.
Yeah, I like how you did put podcasters in for me because you don't have an employment thing. Disability.
Entrepreneur.
Yes,
Good for
I
you.
am that.
Yeah.
That's code for no income.
Sounds better.
Yeah.
That's what like every LinkedIn fucking or not recruiter, but LinkedIn influencer
Yeah.
is they just put entrepreneur in their title.
That reminds me, did you see the Chipotle CEO come out and with
about
that
the
video?
portion size.
Yeah, or just his interview. He's just such a
I didn't
corporate dick.
watch it.
It's like, if you want a little bit of rice, you just gotta do a stupid shoulder shrug. You just gotta kind of give them that look, and they'll give you some extra rice. But if you want some extra meat, now you gotta pay for that. And it just comes off as a corporate snob.
Oh, dude, there's so many fucking people out there that are just straight up dipshits like that. I mean, so look at Jeff Bezos. He got fucking divorced. It was the most expensive divorce in history, and his wife has did more with what she got than he hasn't even donated a fraction of what she has. I mean, and he bought that big fucking $100 million house in Florida.
Yeah.
Then he turned around and bought bought the house right next to it.
He had a custom yacht built that is so big that the place I think it's somewhere in Europe, coastal place, but he literally paid to have them remove this historic bridge because the yacht couldn't fit.
Well, but the type of yacht it's also a sailboat. It uses sails too. I know what you're talking about. I've seen it.
It's ridiculous that nobody should have that kind of money.
Well, it's going to happen whether you like it or not. I mean,
shouldn't. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
They should put
That's-
guardrails in place to prevent it.
but they can't because
Yeah, they can. They're the government. They can make any
Then they-
rules that they want.
why should they?
'Cause eventually-
is it your money? Is
Because
it their money?
eventually, they're going to have so much, and the rest is going to have so little that we're fucking coming for them.
The government's already getting their fucking share.
The government is. It's the people that are going to. The wealth inequality is so bad. God, I just saw something the other day.
A lot of people don't fucking. Bezos got a lot of fucking help along with government grants, and I get it.
Oh yeah, and he inherited or got a gift of $1 million from his dad or something.
Right, because he stated that I started Amazon out of a garage
PayPal.
with
I heard that was
a cool $1 million
with a modest
loan
amount of $1 million to start
from
it.
my dad.
But there, how many of the people that are complaining about it put $1 million in with him to start it? None. Okay.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, if I made $1 billion and you came to me and said I don't deserve it, that's too much for one person, I'd tell you to get fucked because it's mine. I put work into it. I'm the one. I'm supplying all these families. Now, are some of these families
but
not
they're
making
not.
what?
That's the problem.
It all depends where you go. I mean, any company or any product you design or you try to sell, you're always looking to try to do it the cheapest you can.
That's the problem.
Okay.
That's the problem. When you're
not gonna
you're skimping and you control the market and you're skimping and your employees are like half of your employees have to be on government assistance because you don't pay them enough. You should not be able to take that kind of profit for yourself when the government is subsidizing the wages for you.
There's a lot of sense you're making, and I agree with you there. But at what point do you stop? What about the CEOs that are making a shitload of fucking money and that are making sure that even the little guy is?
That's good.
Okay.
I have no problem with that.
What if that guy's a billionaire too? Does he still not deserve that money then?
I will guarantee you there is not a single billionaire on this planet that has that kind of money without underpaying their workers and exploiting them.
And I just read it in the last couple of weeks. There's this fucking airline company. I believe it was either China or Japan. I think it was Japan. And the owner of this airline was a fucking billionaire. And at the end of the year, they gave they're paid well. They got great fucking insured, all that shit, right? They gave each employee of that company an $80,000 bonus at the end of the year.
That's great.
Because that guy was a billionaire.
I'm saying look into the practices. I guarantee you.
I'm just saying is that if the guy fucking if it's his business and he did what he had to do, and you don't, just because you think that he should do it a different way, who gives a fuck? That's your take on it.
And the government should regulate it, just like they can.
They do get their money out of it.
No, they should regulate it, just like they're trying to roll back regulations now. I shouldn't say they. I should say Republicans are trying to roll back legislation now in the southern states to allow child labor again.
Really?
They want fucking 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds in the fucking mines again, and
It's gonna work.
That is the type of exploitation that happens when you don't allow for regulations. That's where regulations came from. It's to save people's lives and to stop them from being exploited.
I had a job at 14.
It's one thing to have a job at 14 when you can only work, 4 hours a day or whatever. It depends on the state. It's another thing entirely when
they want, say, like, in the mines?
They're in, like, factory, like, on factory floors and shit. There was just a thing a couple months ago in, I don't remember if it was Arkansas or Alabama, whatever. Multiple kids have been killed in these factory farms because they've rolled back the regulations on, like, obviously you shouldn't be working heavy machinery when you're like 14 years old.
See, and I thought that there was laws against using, like Emma when she was going to work and helping at where Kelly works, she wasn't allowed to use knives.
Yeah, there are laws on the books, but they're getting rolled back now to.
So it must be per state then.
Yeah, a lot of it is state-based.
Okay.
And I think they need stronger federal regulations on...
Are you talking
like that.
Just cap? You can only make so much a year?
My personal belief is that the executives and the top earners at any company should be... The amount that they can make should be tied to the lowest wage of the company.
It should be a percentage or something.
Yes, it should be. You can make 5 times as much as the lowest. I don't know the actual. I haven't looked into what the numbers should be. But right now, you have CEOs making 400 times the lowest worker, 1,000 times the lowest worker.
And I agree with you there.
That's
because
insane.
I get it. I really do. But you know what? And if they decided to do that, you know what'll happen?
They'll work away around
they'll
it.
turn around. The workarounds is gonna be like, well, okay, now you're making, say, $850,000 a year. You were making $50 million, but now we're gonna give you $49.15 million in a bonus.
Which again, this should all be part of the any kind of compensation. Even they should look at, because they would try and get around it by creating subsidiary companies and then they would contract with their their own other companies. And
I think the government's already got their nose into too much shit, as far as I'm concerned.
nope, they need to have their
They
noses
don't
in
need
more.
that. The fuck they do.
Well, that's the thing. You give the money to the government. What do they do with the money? They don't use it in a productive way, in my opinion.
And that's 100% correct too.
There's a lot of waste in the government, and they
sometimes
they could save probably $400 billion just in the defense budget by just doing like a forensic audit and eliminating waste.
And that's the thing. Yes, because and that's true. Because me and you had that talk about that. There was that like $1.4 trillion bill that they tried to fucking pass, and you said, yeah, the Republicans shot it down. Well, the reason why that got shot down was because there was $900 billion that was in this budget, and because the whole thing was for helping the homeless, helping fucking veterans, this, that, whatever. But there was $900 billion that the Republicans did say, hey, where's this going? And they're like, well, you don't need to know where that's going. No, we do. No, you don't. So they're like, all right, fuck it, we voted it down. Now, there is a ton of fucking overspending, and R&D is always going to be there. You'll never stop R&D when it comes to military. Do I believe that our military personnel, as far as, say, anybody from like an E7 rank, which is like a staff sergeant, and down, need to make more money? Fucking A. They do.
They should.
Those are the guys in the trenches fucking losing their lives, right? Officers, those guys go to college for certain degrees in order to become an officer in the military. Okay? Those guys get treated like fucking kings and queens. Why? Just because you went to college? So you're better than that guy who's fucking taking the bullet for you? No, that ain't right. But there was so much, like you said, the annual budget for the military, it's getting used, but what's that excess for?
There's just too much waste. They spend so much money on shit for no reason. Like, they literally have never, the U.S. military, or I don't know if it's just the Army or if it's the whole Defense Department, has never passed an actual, like, audit.
Yeah.
And so until they do that,
Well,
the problem is that the people that make the laws and that complain about wasteful spending are the ones that could fix the wasteful spending.
Yeah.
But instead they just go, no, the government doesn't know how to spend money, so we need to cut back. It's like, you're the ones spending it. Figure it out.
You know, look at, I read this thing the other day, and it was the best thing I'd ever heard. You know, we got the three credit reporting agencies, right? Mm-hmm. TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. They're government controlled, right? A fucking government that is $40 trillion in the fucking hole should not be able to tell us, me, you, and Justin, that we can have a credit card or buy a house or buy a fucking car when they can't even pay their own fucking debt.
See,
I
look at it differently in that a governmental economy is very different than like a personal household.
But again, they shouldn't be able to tell us. That's all I'm saying. They don't tell us how to fucking manage our money when you can't manage your own.
Well, yeah, I think the whole credit reporting thing is bullshit.
We're the only country in the fucking world that has it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You know, there's people. I mean, look at some of these socialist countries like Norway, Sweden, places. The people that are homeless for a fucking reason. It's not because there's no place to live. It's because they probably have some sort of social fucking problem, like maybe drug addicts or whatever. And they don't have a way to fucking get into a home. But the homeless problems in socialist states is very, very small, very small. You can see some people don't have fucking jobs, but they have an apartment. They have a decent apartment. They have electricity. Sweden, it's got 330,000, or not Sweden, Iceland, 330,000 people in the whole fucking country, right? They don't pay for electricity. They work 4 days a week. They all have nice homes, which are all about the same as the next person's. Can you own a business? Yes, but, 40% of your income goes to the government to help everybody else. I do see a lot of your ideas with socialism. I really do. A lot of it is a great idea. But there's a lot of it I don't agree with. But again, these fuckers that can't budget our country shouldn't be telling you and me how to budget our household.
I think one interesting idea, I think every company should disclose the salary of every single employee of that company. That would
Oh,
force.
they don't want you to do that.
Well, that would force them to.
I
hey,
agree with
I
that.
agree with you 100%.
Like if you saw someone that you do more work, get paid more than you, you'd go to your boss, be like, "Hey, give me more fucking money."
See,
That would.
my niece and everybody again, like you, my niece fucking hates Jeff Bezos. Hates him. But
I think he's a piece of shit, but
you know what? That guy's been paying for my disability.
Yeah.
For fucking 2 years, 2.5 years.
You could probably pay more.
He could, but see, I mean, the national fucking average is fucking 60% for disability.
Mm-hmm.
If I got everything, I mean, I'd be making fucking, $1,500 every 2 weeks. I'm making less than $1,200 a month. Hey, is what it is. Hey, you know what? It's about that time.
About that time.
ooh, is it game time? It sure
It
is.
sure is. Anyway, gentlemen, do you guys have anything that you would like our listeners who should be listening to us on like YouTube and Spotify, bad pods, good pods, all those places? Do you guys want them to know anything?
Yeah, flavored sunflower seeds are better than original sunflower seeds.
Original sunflower seeds are vastly superior to flavored sunflower seeds.
And-
Old Dutchman, Wild Dutchman, Old Dutchman. I don't know what it is. Wild or Old Dutchman.
And
Best.
if it burns when you pee, go to the doctor.